Ladies, damn, I'm slow. Let's do that again. Check, check, check. 1, 2, check, check, check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. And we have a problem in the NBA. The ratings are down, even though we talk about this quite often in the NBA. There have been a few problems with the ratings, and a lot of people haven't been watching opening nights. Some of the stars in the NBA are injured right now, like guys like Paolo Banchero, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Zion Williamson, and others. And that has gone to, at least my opinion, one of the biggest factors of the ratings going down. But today we're going to be reacting to two videos of guys talking about why the NBA ratings have gone down. And then we are going to I'm going to give my opinion on it. So sit back, relax. This is going to be a pretty long video. So if you want to get some snacks, something to drink, chill out, relax, and let's react to some videos. I'm going to rattle off some reaction videos. This is kind of like a halfway reaction video plus a take mashed into one, and then we're going to react to the Lakers Nuggets that comes on tonight. We will be watching that, and we will be locked in on every single play of that. But other than that, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's vibe. Let's vibe.
The fact that NBA TV ratings have not been that great so far.
So I'm kind of an idiot. You know, you have to turn the volume up on OBS, and I just did not have that taken care of. So let's kind of like go back a little bit, and then let's just, I'm not going to edit this video much. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to edit this video too much because this is going to be a really long video. I have to find somebody who's willing to edit videos for me. Let's see.
So one of the big
Okay.
talking points I've seen so far for this NBA season is the fact that NBA TV ratings have not been that great so far. And look, it's extremely difficult to figure out why people aren't watching the NBA like they used to. But we're going to try to figure this out.
Yeah, Adam Silver, every executive in the NBA, just watch this video. We got the secret sauce, the formula. We're going to fix everything for you guys right now.
Before we start talking about the NBA's ratings this season, if you have already, make sure to leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. So like I said in the intro, NBA ratings so far this year have not been great. ESPN's opening night doubleheader averaged only 1.6 million viewers. That was down a whopping 42% from 2023. And across the board, numbers were just massively down for the opening week of NBA games. It got so bad that a Knicks-Pacers game on ESPN on a Friday night was outdrawn by a Louisville and Boston College game on ESPN2. Now, to be fair, the Knicks blew out the Pacers by 25, and Louisville had a 20-point comeback to beat Boston College. But a marquee game on ESPN between the biggest market in your entire league is outdrawn by a whatever clash of average ACC teams on a Friday night. That's not a good look.
Yeah.
Just to shout out my guy, I got a guy that I went to high school with and I went to middle school with. One of my close friends goes to Louisville. Shout out Benjamin Perry. We haven't talked in a while, so I don't know if I would call him a close friend, but he was a close friend. So shout out to you. Keep doing your thing, Brody.
Some bummy ass ACC football, and also the Knicks, yeah, biggest market, had just shook up their roster. This is a historical rivalry. This is two teams that just played in the playoffs. Yeah, that's not a good look. There was some competition to start the year. Of course, the World Series, Dodgers, Yankees, the two biggest brands in baseball. People wanted to see how that would shake out. You had the presidential election. Everyone's tuning in to see all the crazy headlines from that. That's all gone now, and the ratings are still down.
Yeah, I'm sure Disney, NBC, Amazon, they all feel great about that.
Yeah.
11 years, $76 billion deal they just committed to the NBA.
Hey, at least inside the NBA is still staying, so we
That's
do
true.
got that.
Does anyone know if Ernie is making
We
the
don't know
trip?
yet. We'll
Okay.
know soon.
Cross
He's
that
staying.
bridge when we come to it.
Come on, he's staying. I got faith.
And the ratings slump has been addressed by plenty in sports media. I mean, Gilbert Arenas, Shaq, even Adam Silver commented about it. And everyone's got their theories as to why it's happened. So, you know, let's go through a couple of them and, you know, see if us two guys from Portland can figure out what's wrong with this multi-billion-dollar business.
We got you, Adam Silver.
Hire us, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
We can do it. So 3-pointers. This is the one I've probably seen thrown around the most online. It was the theory that was posited by Shaq, by Kenny. Hell, we even have a video from way back in the day talking about it. And the gist of the argument is the NBA nowadays, you know, it's just a 3-point shooting contest. Teams just endlessly chuck up threes because that's what the math tells them to do. And there's some numbers to back this up. I mean, the Celtics, at the time of this recording, they currently lead the NBA in threes attempted per game. They're shooting a ridiculous 51.1 attempts per game.
That's out of control.
It is out of control.
51.1? That's over half of their shots. And let's not even go back like super far to the mid 2000s. Let's go back to 2016. The Warriors, best team in the league, you know, invented the small ball 3-point era. They would rank 29th in 3-pointers attempted. They would rank 29th in 3-pointers attempted if you took them to today's NBA. I mean, that's out of control. Like, that is the team you point to as the team that started the 3-point explosion, and now they're nothing compared to teams today.
And the Raptors would be the only team behind them, and they'd be only behind them by half an attempt per game. In 2016, it was 35.4. Today, it's 35.7. And when I was researching this, actually, I went back to 2006 just for fun to see what it was. It was actually 35.
Quick thing, I'm gonna be writing notes to like really talk about what I want to talk about as we're watching this. So for the people who want to know what I'm writing down, that's literally it. That's literally it. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
8 in 2006. So I'm sure people will make the argument players today are taking, you know, more contested shots, but the numbers say in 2006, teams shot a better percentage from 3 than they do today.
And it's just frustrating to watch as a fan. Like, some of these 3-pointers are so damn dumb. I was just watching 76ers versus Heat, Tyler Hero. Like, the end of the first quarter gets a steal. It's like a 2-on-1 fast break. Dude just pulls up from 3.
Because why not?
Misses the shot.
Yeah.
Like, possession ends there. Could have attacked the basket.
Used to be you look for layups. Now it's take that first available three.
I mean, that was Shaq's whole point. Like, most of the teams in the NBA today just play the same brand of basketball, you know, drive and kick, look for 3-pointers, take early and often threes. And compared to other sports like in college football, you got teams that air raid, you got teams that pound the ball, triple option, all that. Like, every game might be something different. You got different conferences. The NBA, it's all basically the same. Sure, the Celtics are going to take more threes. Sure, some teams, 76ers, Nuggets, they're going to pound the ball inside with their centers. But for the most part, like I said, drive and kick, open threes, that's what teams look for.
I mean, just go back like 10 years in the NBA and look at how differently so many teams played. Like, you had the Lob City Clippers, you know, fast pace, fast break, alley-oops all the time. You had the grit and grind Grizzlies, you know, defense, interior scoring, toughness. You had OKC, which was a lot of, you know, isolation ball. You had the Spurs with their beautiful basketball, sharing the rock, giving up a good shot for the better shot. Like, that's 4 teams right there who play significantly different basketball from each other, and all 4 were good too. If everything is the same, like, it just becomes monotonous. It just becomes boring. Like, I love to eat pizza. It's probably one of my favorite foods ever, but if I had to eat it for dinner every night, I'm gonna be sick of it after like 3 or 4 days.
I could push it 3 weeks. I mean, to be Portland's a great pizza city.
Portland's a phenomenal pizza.
Nah, for real, bro. I could push pizza for like 2-3 weeks straight before I get pissed off. I'm not even gonna lie. Anyway, let's keep going.
City, you would be sick to your stomach after a week.
I could do 2.
I don't think
We're
you
gonna
could.
make it happen one day.
2-week uninterrupted live stream. Benz eats nothing but pizza. But I mean, you said it. Like, watching the NBA nowadays, it seems like all teams are just playing basically the exact same way. But honestly, there's a reason for that. And this was Kenny's point in his video he made about it. Like, it's the meta in the NBA right now. And this is something that like video games have to deal with from time to time. Like, I'm a big COD Zombies fan, right? I love it dearly. I've got some posters on my wall of it. But around the time of Black Ops 4, the meta for a lot of the maps was Stone Cold Stronghold, the Helion Salvio, Pack-a-Punched, and just camping with that combo. It was boring as shit. I hated doing it, but if I wanted to get to high rounds, it was the most optimal strategy. And people in a competitive environment are always gonna take what they think is the most optimal strategy, even if it's not an entertaining one.
I mean, a similar example for our fans overseas, we call it soccer here, but, you know, we watch the Premier League a little bit. Liverpool fan here. We're winning the title this season. Had to put that on everyone. But, I mean, people have complained about Pep at Man City, like taking taking the joy and the flair out of soccer because everything is just so analytical these days. It's like you got to keep the pass, keep the ball moving. Like that's kind of what sports have become. You know, we got algorithms now, we got AI like telling you these players are kind of becoming robots. Sure, you still got a lot of things in sports. You got crossovers, you got incredible plays. I don't want to act like everything is taken away, but we're getting more and more close to just like do your job, do your thing, don't think about it because it's the most efficient way to play.
And at the end of the day, like, can you really fault someone for something like that? And like the perception in the NBA right now is that shooting threes, you get a bigger bang for your buck than if you shoot twos. And the craziest thing is, like, mathematically, that might not even be true anymore. Like, I just did some really quick math. Like, if you want to score 80 points, scoring only twos or only threes, if you just shot the league averages from two and from three, it'd take you 74 2-point attempts to score 80. It'd take you 75 and a half threes to score 80 as well. So if you don't want to trust my quick maths, there's also some studies that have been out that have showed that like the three-pointer is losing its value in the NBA. And part of it, I think, is just too many guys who shouldn't be chucking up threes are chucking up threes. Like I remember
that is a crazy picture of Mikal
year,
Bridges, by
but
the way.
he's shooting like 42.5% from three. So I'm fine if he takes as many as he wants. But why is Luka taking 10 threes a game when he's shooting 32%? Why is Wemby taking 8 threes a game when he's shooting 34%? James Harden and Jalen Green can't crack 33%. Why are they both taking 8 a game? And Tyrese Halliburton is taking almost 8 a game. He can't crack 30%.
I mean, yeah, I've heard that criticism of Luka, like not just this year where it's even been worse, but past years in his career. And I don't mean to be Shaq over here, but why the f*** is Wemby taking 8 threes a game?
There should be no reason for him taking that many. Like, he's a good shooter. I'm not trying to say any of these guys are bad shooters because they're not. But like the numbers are not lying. They're not shooting at an efficient level. So why do they keep doing it so much? And if the argument I'm going to get back is, well, you know, they're shooting contested threes or shooting tougher threes, that's why their percentages are down. Why are they shooting tougher shots? So this is probably the second most prevalent complaint I've seen online, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the three-pointers problem. Like, oh, you know, there's not that much defense in the NBA. You know, guys are soft. The rules favor the offense. There's too much scoring. Guys are lazy. They don't want to put in the effort on the defensive end. I don't disagree with the scoring point. I think there is too much scoring in the NBA today, at least for my liking. But the argument that I see people tend to put forward when they make this point is basically that, oh, scoring's at an all-time high, so clearly the defense is bad. First of all, scoring this season is not even the highest in NBA history. In fact, it's not even in the top 10. Second of all, the 1980s, a decade that is not quite as revered as like the 90s in terms of like, you know, rough and rugged defense, but still a decade known for physicality, right? Every single season of the 1980s, NBA teams averaged at least 108 points a game.
I mean, I love a game where it comes down late, you know, your 92, 88 type ball games. Like those are great, but at the same time, like I don't mind watching offense. Like,
yeah,
I like seeing three-pointers go in. I like highlight plays. I don't know, like sometimes you see guys on defense, you're like, really?
Yeah, okay,
like,
that's 100% true.
But at the same time, I don't mind offense, and I don't think a lot of people are like, you know what? They just scored 130 points. I'm turning this shit off.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing with like people who act like, oh, defense is at an all-time low in the NBA, I'm just gonna term this like the Big Ten West paradox. For anyone who doesn't pay attention to college football, the Big Ten West for the past 11 years was Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Northwestern, and Purdue. They consistently put out some of the statistically best defenses in all of college football, and also statistically some of the worst offenses in all of college football. So there was always this big question by the end of the year. It was always, are these teams actually great on defense, or are they just playing inept offenses every week? Like, let's look at Iowa from last year. Finished 4th in the country in scoring defense, gave them only 14.8 points a game, 282 yards a game, and in the 6 games they played against other Big Ten West schools, they gave up no more than 14 points in a game. But when they actually had to play teams with an offensive pulse like Penn State, Michigan, or Tennessee, got beat 31-0, 26-0, and 35-0. So my whole point in all this is like, yes, NBA scoring is up. I'm just not sure if it's the player's fault. I think it might just be an evolution of the game of basketball. The rules are tilted towards the offense, and defense at this point just haven't caught up to it yet.
Well, JJ Redick made that point on First Take, like trying to guard dudes on an island in the modern NBA sounds like hell. Like you don't have 1 to 2 guys chilling in the paint ready to help you out. You're basically on that island. If you have a really good rim protector, sure, you got him, but you get beat on one dribble move, you're kind of cooked. So I can't imagine trying to scheme against these guys when you got like 3 or 4 dudes who can shoot on the floor. It sounds impossible to defend them on an NBA, so it makes sense scoring is so up.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the NBA try to change some rules to, you know, give defenders a chance. I think there's too many times, you know, there's, you know, ticky-tack fouls, a lot of free throws. Guys aren't allowed to be physical, especially guarding on the perimeter. But look, there's just some really good offensive basketball being played in the NBA today.
Injuries and load management, of course, these two go hand in hand, so we'll do them together. Injuries, they suck. When your favorite player gets injured on your team or just whoever, like, it sucks to see them miss all this time, and there's been so many players over the years, and this year that have been out with injuries, of course. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Maxey, the whole 76ers big three's been hurt. Wemby's now out. Kawhi and Porzingis haven't played. Zion has barely played. There's this perception that injuries are much more common in the NBA, and it does feel like that. It was hard to find like concrete.
Okay, so I really didn't have it in me to watch that entire video, but we kind of get the gist. And if you guys want to go subscribe to Synthetic Sports, the link to the video will be in the description below. But my quick opinion on it is, one thing is, I think we've all seen the meta of how to win basketball games in the NBA, just like how Kenny talked about, is that if the way to win is to take three-pointers, because if you are an efficient team beyond the arc, you're going to win games. If you are going to shoot 37 to 39% from three as a team and shoot 45 a game, you're going to win a lot of games, you know? And the part of the sad thing about that is a lot of these teams don't have that, because to win in today's NBA, there are so many dominant big men out there, and there are so many dominant perimeter teams to where you have to hit the three at a high level. You have to be able to defend at every single position, and you have to have a really good rim protecting big. That's really hard to come by, you know, and the Boston Celtics have that. You know, they have all five guys on the court who can defend at a high level. They have a 7'4" big who is one of the best rim protectors in the league, and by points per possession was the best post-up big in the league last year, and can also hit threes at a not abnormal clip. Not a lot of teams have that. So the meta to win is by taking three-pointers, but it's also the smaller things. You have to have a solid big man that can contain some of these better centers of the NBA, like a Anthony Davis, like a Nikola Jokic, like a Joel Embiid. And then you also have to have perimeter players who can hit the three at a high level and can defend one-on-one, because a lot of the NBA is mismatch hunting, three-pointers, isolation, cuts. You have to have all of that to win, and that's just what the Boston Celtics have. So when we look at players and when we look at teams, there are a lot of really good teams like the Lakers, like the Nuggets, like the Timberwolves, who just don't provide that level of three-point shooting, don't provide that level of defense from 1 to 5. They just don't provide that. And when you look at some of these teams that have one part of what they need to provide, like a really good defense, like the Minnesota Timberwolves had last year, their three-point shooting is very questionable, and they don't have a player that can really break down the defense once he's able to get past the initial defender. When we look at a team like the Denver Nuggets, who have the dominant player and the best player in the league, they don't have the defense 1 through 5 to be able to contain a team like OKC or Boston. When we look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, they don't necessarily have the defense 1 through 5, and they don't have the floor spacing. So it's really tough. It's really tough. And we're going to see a lot of teams start to take really bad threes, because that's the only way they're going to be able to stay in these type of games. You guys probably just heard a really loud notification from my laptop. It is what it is. So when a guy like me who loves basketball, loves to watch basketball, I definitely would say for the average fan, it would be kind of boring seeing people shoot off DHOs, off pick and rolls, off dribble drive and kickouts. It would be kind of boring and repetitive to see that every game, and you may watch 2 or 3 games that day. Like, just imagine how bad it's going to be in the playoffs. We've seen the Boston Celtics run through the Eastern Conference being the best three-point shooting team in the league. There's going to be a lot of teams who aren't good at it who are going to start to take a lot more threes. The Orlando Magic are going to take a lot of threes. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to take a lot of threes. The Los Angeles Lakers are going to take a lot of threes. So, therefore, I feel as though there needs to be some type of rule change. We've seen this before in the NBA when players would just hold out because they didn't want other teams to get the ball because there was no shot clock. The NBA implemented a shot clock. When guys back in the 80s or 90s, I believe, would back down for as long as they possibly wanted. Charles Barkley, who would back down players for 5 to 10 seconds before he would get into his shot out the post. They implemented that. It was a 5 seconds back to the basket rule and a 3-second violation offensively. So eventually we are going to get a rule change, and I'm just very interested to see what the rule change is. You know, I'm very interested to see what the rule change is going to be, because this is going to be a problem. But as for the production, the product that they're producing and that they're putting out, I don't necessarily hate it. Like, I still love watching basketball to this day. I still love watching basketball. There's still been some really good moments this season. The Golden State Warriors versus the Dallas Mavericks. That was really good. The night that Giannis, Wemby, and Kat had like 45 plus in one night, and LeBron had a 30-point triple-double. Those are good nights. And as for the injuries, there are going to be players that get injured. There's going to be players that can get injured. And I think the only way you can really take that out, and the only way you can really replace that with players that are more healthy is if you reduce the games. Because a lot of people say, oh, these guys don't work 9 to 5s. These guys go out and play basketball. You try running back and forth at a high intensity for 25 to 30 to 35 minutes a night, every other night. Yeah, your fat ass is not going to do it. I'm just being honest. Like, people don't talk about how much damage your body can take running at that speed, jumping that high, changing your direction as much. Some people play through injuries, and you have to do it 82 times. Not even talking about practice and getting yourself back in, staying in shape and having to do all that stuff off the court. It's not that easy. So I do think eventually, if the NBA really wants to fix that injury problem, the games are probably going to be lower to 65, or to 60. And I wouldn't even hate that, because in the end of the day, we are still getting a lot of games. I wouldn't hate that at all. And then the next thing, I think a lot of sports are going through this right now. I shouldn't have to be paying $400 to $500 a year to watch basketball. It should not be that hard. It should not be that hard, because now I have to have NBA League Pass. I have to have cable, and I've watched 2 Bulls games all season. I've watched 2 Bulls games all season, and now you're gonna have to buy Amazon Prime next year, which luckily I already have, and it's only like $2 a month because my wife is in college, and she gets all that stuff for cheap. But she graduates this summer. So next year, I'm going to be paying like $10 a month for Amazon Prime. And then I have to have YouTube TV. And I have to have NBA League Pass. And it's like, you can definitely watch them on a a different website that I'm not going to speak of. But you can watch all of it for free. The only thing is, you're going to be like 7 minutes delayed. And if your Wi-Fi is not in tip-top shape, it's going to buffer. So it's like, it's the same with the NFL. You have to have Amazon Prime, you have to have YouTube TV, you have to have Netflix, because Netflix is now streaming sports events. And then Netflix is fucking horrible at it. Like, Netflix is so overrated to me. It's so overrated. I would take HBO Max, Hulu, and Amazon Prime over Netflix. Netflix don't be having shit for real. But now they're streaming games. And if we look at what happened in the Tyson-Jake Paul fight, just imagine what we're going to get in Christmas with the NFL. So I just think, and especially the events, going to a game, it costs an arm and a leg to get good seats at an NBA game. It costs an arm and a leg. I am a very new electrician. I am an electrician who is a year 1 electrician apprentice. I can afford to pay my rent, pay everything on time. I can afford that. But can I afford to get a decent seat at an NBA game or an NFL game? Fuck no, I can't do it. So it's going to be a problem. Do I see it getting fixed? Probably not. Like, this is the way the world is going. And this is just the way that the sports world is going. And to enjoy real basketball, you have to pay a good amount. So it is what it is, man. I still love watching basketball, and I'm still going to pay the money to watch good basketball and to watch it without buffering and to watch it on time without any delays. So this is something I'm willing to pay. But for the average fan who just watches the NBA during the playoffs, this is what's going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys like this type of content, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. If anybody has any ideas on how the NBA can be fixed with its viewership, let me know. Other than that, it is kind of irritating to think about. Not going to lie, it is very irritating to think about, because I'm going to be paying a lot of money to watch basketball, and it's so aggravating. League Pass is $15 a month. My YouTube TV is like $75 to $100 a month. Then I have to buy Amazon Prime for for football, and I'm going to have to buy it next year. Then I got to buy Netflix to watch football. And what else is it? There's another thing you have to buy to watch the Chicago Bulls that I'm not going to watch that. I'm not a Bulls fan, and I don't really care for the Bulls. I do kind of care for the Bulls because I am from Chicago, but I really don't care for the Bulls that much. Like, if they win, I'll be happy, but right now, they're not winning. So unless I'm like Kenny Beecham as a diehard fan for the Bulls, I'm not paying any money to watch the Bulls, especially when I could just go on League Pass and watch it later. And also the injuries, it's obviously unfortunate because the Orlando Magic, they still have been winning and they just bust my Lakers ass, but they've almost been unwatchable offensively. The Philadelphia 76ers, they've almost been unwatchable without Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. The Phoenix Suns, another team that's almost unwatchable without Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. The Los Angeles Clippers, another team that's like, you want to watch them because they have Harden, and Harden's so fun to watch. But then again, no Kawhi. The Dallas Mavericks, no Luka. So it's like, and another thing, who's going to be the next face of the league? Like, we're still riding on the backs of LeBron, Curry, and KD. Like, we're still riding on their backs. And it's like, we don't see Jason Tatum get promoted as much. We don't see Wemby get promoted as much. We're starting to see Ant get promoted a little more with the Sprite commercials and everything. We've only seen a few commercials from Nikola Jokic. It's like the NBA has some... Paolo Banchero, he's a number one pick. Paolo Banchero is a number one pick, and he was an all-star last year. He led his team to the playoffs, and he played great in the playoffs. And what is the NBA doing? What are they doing? They're not promoting him. They're not promoting Paolo Banchero. He's a number one pick. And he looked phenomenal to start out the year. And the NBA's just not promoting him. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Like, the NBA, they just don't care about promoting their young talent. Like, what are we going to do? Chet Holmgren, who's been phenomenal. He's not getting promoted. Well, no, because he had that one commercial with SGA. Whatever you want, whatever you need. Yeah, that was pretty catchy. I can't lie. It was pretty catchy. I'm not going to lie. This is like a 30-minute video of just me yapping. Just me yapping. Like, I'm not going to edit this video once. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to put it out because I want to put my, I just want to get my thoughts out there. At least with the NFL, guys like Jaden Daniels, guys like Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud, these guys are getting promoted. Like, these guys are getting promoted. Caleb Williams was getting insane hype when he got drafted. CJ Stroud, when he started playing well, insane hype. At least the NFL is doing that. But the NBA, man, they're just like, look, we got a 40-year-old LeBron, we got a 36-year-old Steph, and we got a 37-year-old KD. Right now, KD's hurt. LeBron probably got 2 more years in the NBA. Who knows how long Curry's going to be playing, but we're going to ride the backs of them, and we're probably not going to start promoting any young talent until these guys retire. And that's just not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. To be fair for the NBA, I don't think we have seen a type of player like LeBron since, and that's completely reasonable. There's not going to be another player like LeBron James, but we just haven't gotten that immensely talented player who also has the charisma to be the face of the NBA. We just have not gotten that because Victor Wembanyama is extremely talented, but so far he does not have that charisma. Anthony Edwards has that charisma. He has the character. He has the personality, but he's not a LeBron level type of talent, even though Anthony Edwards is extremely talented. And I'm not going to lie. It was supposed to be Ja Morant. Like, Ja Morant was supposed to be the guy that the NBA promoted because he had the high-flying ability. His team was really good. He had the character. He had the charisma until he started playing with guns online. Damn it, Ja! Damn it! So it was supposed to be Ja. And the NBA is probably never going to try and promote Ja like they're going to promote Ant or a Wemby in the next few years because of that situation. So I would have loved it because if you guys don't know, Ja Morant is one of my 10 favorite players in the NBA, but they're probably just not going to do it anymore. Anyway, that will be the end of this video because the video is 30 minutes long. I spent about 14 of it watching that video. which I don't really know why I did that, even though it was a good video. Don't get me wrong, great video. But I kind of wanted to just do a watch along. I barely spoke through it. And when I said I was going to write down some notes, I barely written anything down. So if we can get that to focus a little more. Anyway, I barely wrote anything down because I kind of knew what I wanted to talk about, but it is what it is, man. I'm still going to watch basketball. I'm still going to pay the proper amount to watch basketball. So you don't have to worry about me, Adam Silver. I'm still going to watch, whether I'm not going to watch the Pelicans though. I'm not going to watch the Pelicans unless they're playing the Lakers. I'm not watching the Pelicans. They had Elfrid Payton playing like 20 minutes in 2024. So anyway, once again, I'm going to try and really finish this video now. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to find me on TikTok, go to @TheBuzzerSports. If you guys want to find me on Twitter, ATBSports1. If you guys want to find me on Instagram, @TheBuzzerSports. And for business inquiries, @TheBuzzerSportsENT@gmail.com.